got Justin Moore. He is our featured performer today in the All-American Summer Concert Series brought to you by Expedia. He's singing Point at You. It's part of his brand new album called Kinda Don't Care, released today, available today.
Such a nice guy.
And on drums, I don't know if you caught it a little bit earlier, Geraldo Rivera was out there playing the drums.
It was the single best line in modern country. You look like I need a drink right now.
If you want to watch him, he's going to be performing all hour long. We'll hear one of the numbers in its entirety. No, Justin.
Oh, good.
Go to foxandfriends.com/concert, and it's streaming live.
All right. Well, let's dive into it this morning with Geraldo Rivera to talk about some of the stories making news at the end of the week here. Nice to see you this morning, Geraldo.
Thanks, Clayton.
So Donald Trump doubling down on his comments
Tripling down
Quadrupling
on
down.
his founders of ISIS commentary about both President Obama and Hillary Clinton. If you missed it, here is a recap of Donald Trump. We'll get Geraldo's take. Watch.
Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. These are the founders of ISIS.
And our government has unleashed ISIS. I call President Obama and Hillary Clinton the founders of ISIS. They're the founders. In fact, I think we'll give Hillary Clinton the, if you're on a sports team, most valuable player, MVP. You get the MVP award. ISIS will hand her the most valuable player award. Her only competition is Barack Obama.
Oh, I meant he's the founder of ISIS. I do. He's the most valuable player. I give him the most valuable player award. I give her, too, by the way.
But he's not sympathetic to them. He hates them. He's trying to kill them.
He was the founder. The way he got out of Iraq was the founding of ISIS. Okay?
Well,
All right, so this morning he released a tweet. Here's his latest tweet this morning. He said, ratings challenged CNN reports so seriously that I call President Obama and Clinton the founder of ISIS and MVP. They don't get sarcasm. So this morning he's saying it was sarcasm. Geraldo, what do you say?
Well, he's right about CNN being ratings challenged.
That's true.
He doesn't do sarcasm very well. Let's face it, I love the guy, but this is like the Second Amendment comment. He didn't mean to say that he was unleashing people who believe in gun rights to assassinate Hillary Clinton, but he said it in such a sloppy way. He should have said, I want everyone who supports the Second Amendment to rally behind my candidacy, vote for me, and keep Hillary Clinton from selecting the next Supreme Court jurist. He could have said it. He doesn't do sarcasm very well. This was sarcasm. I know.
Geraldo, no one really believes. It has to be so. You can't. What other way can you take it? No one believes that they're sitting at a table and they're coming up with a plan to invent ISIS. I mean, it's sarcasm just by saying it.
I think you're being very nice because he was given many, many opportunities, Ainsley, to clarify and to say, I'm just kidding. Don't be a dope. Come on. Don't you get it?
But Geraldo,
he knows that Obama, President Obama and the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton at the time, did not found ISIS. We know the evolution, the track of ISIS. You can say, Steve, with great clarity and factual accuracy that the Obama administration fell asleep at the wheel. We left Iraq too early. We left a vacuum, a power vacuum that allowed Al-Qaeda in the Mesopotamia to morph into ISIS. He can say that. But to stick with it 20 times, it's just a bad joke.
But we know what he was talking about, as you said. But the way he said it, the mainstream media, they are looking for every chance they can to sandbag him.
Which is exactly my point.
Yes.
Because he knows the hostile environment in which his candidacy, and he knows it's a long shot bid to begin with, given the demographics in the country. He shouldn't be serving up the news cycle all day long.
He's going up against someone who the world thinks is, or at least the country, if you look at the polls, doesn't think is honest. She's not trustworthy. That's what Americans are saying. So he's going up against her. So you would think it would be an easy election for someone to win. What does he need to do?
But whose side are the media on?
Well, putting aside the media, I think, Ainsley, you make my point. Here you had a great email story. New emails suggest the relationship between the Clinton Foundation and the State Department, for goodness sake. That's a big story.
Huge deal.
So instead of talking about that, a substantive story where there could really be an area for probing by authorities where you could find some real wrongdoing, what are we talking about? We're talking about he's saying the President of the United States founded ISIS. Oh, my God. So that's 80% of the discussion. And 20% is on the substance that we should be talking about.
That's what Carl Rove was talking about yesterday. He was saying he's dropping the ball here because he has every opportunity when Hillary Clinton has this email scandal to talk about those sorts of things, and then we end up talking about this. I think the media gives him an opportunity to take his foot out of his mouth on a regular basis. They keep asking him for clarifications. Instead of just saying, you're right, it was a joke, he doubles down, triples down. He keeps tripling down on everything.
Exactly right. Now, Karl Rove and Donald Trump never really got along. So I think Karl Rove is more critical of Donald Trump perhaps than I am. Let me just put it that way. But because it is precisely because I care for the guy, and precisely because I wanted him to win the primary so he could go against Hillary Clinton, and the American people would have a clear choice, ideologically
you got
speaking,
your wish.
Economically speaking, and everything. But where has the campaign devolved? You know, where has it? It has become this. He's slinging one-liners that don't work, and she's plodding along in a methodical way, fighting off, and he's giving her every opportunity to deflect the substantive discussion and talk about, he wanted to kill me, he wanted to unleash the Second Amendment crazy people against me. He thinks that I founded ISIS, doesn't he know history of the Middle East, etc. I think that it's what, 80 some days now? He's got to be as disciplined in this campaign as he is building those big buildings, and I haven't seen it.
Speaking of the big buildings, a guy named Steve was climbing up the side of one of them the other day.
Of course there was Steve.
And so rather than the email scandal and the many permutations this story has taken, the big networks have given twice, 3 times the coverage. When you take a look at the network coverage, 5 minutes and 12 seconds talking about the guy, Steve, climbing up the Trump Tower, only 2 minutes and 15 seconds talking about the new email showing the Clinton Foundations had the pay-for-play thing where if you wanted access to the State Department, just give the Clinton Foundation dough.
To me, this is East Coast media being envious of West Coast media. And West Coast media, you see a car chase. It's our car chase.
Exactly.
The car chase, there could be nuclear war happening, God forbid, someplace. Right. And then look at that down the 405. Oh, he just made the turn onto Sunset Boulevard.
So what you're saying, though, Geraldo, you know from West Coast coverage, because I used to live there too, is that it's the viewer's fault. Because when they have a car chase in California, ratings go through the roof.
Wait a minute. Weren't you famous for the OJ car chase?
Well, among other things. But of course, but that makes my point. You cannot, if you went to the email scandal instead of that climber, it would have been, I'm sick of your damn emails.
Yeah.
Where's the guy that's going to fall off the top of Trump Tower right into the lap of the cops?
Did you see the cops jerk that guy inside? It was great TV.
But although it's great TV, Ainsley, but you see how risky it is for those cops.
Absolutely, I know.
And that knuckleheads like this put the thin blue line in jeopardy.
Yep.
They had to reach all the way out. One of the guys was holding the cop's legs, if you noticed. They would so he wouldn't then tumble down.
Was still attached to the harness on the outside of the building. He was trying to pull it up.
Fighting to get off. But here, the fact that we're talking about it substantively is another indication of how interesting it was.
Sure. And
not every day they climb Trump Tower.
And our point is, why can't you cover both? You know, do the Trump Tower, but also do the email scandal with some equivalency.
I think your bigger headline is Trump exists in an extremely hostile media environment. He has to be flawless from this point on to make this even competitive. And if he doesn't become flawless, then there's going to be a rout. And I go back to what I said in December. You won't see another Republican president in my lifetime unless he gets his act together, and he really must.
One word answer. Can he still win?
Yes.
Thank you. Geraldo, ladies and gentlemen.
And just tell me you're going to live forever. I don't like talking like that, Geraldo. All right, let's hand it over to
Fountain of Youth. Thanks, Geraldo.
Hand it over to